Over the past 75 years, DC and Marvel have introduced hundreds of thousands of characters in their comics. Cultural icons like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and Captain America have appeared in everything from Saturday morning cartoons to big-budget blockbusters. But those guys all have one thing in common: they got their start in the comics. That's not always the case. Superhero TV shows and movies often introduce totally new characters, and some of them are so well received they make their way back into the comics. Here are 10 superhero movie characters not introduced in the comics. Phil Coulson. It may be surprising to find out that Agent Coulson, a character so important to unifying Marvel's first phase of films, was a completely original creation. Clark Gregg debuted as Agent Coulson in 2008's Iron Man, the movie that started it all. He appeared in 2010's Iron Man 2 and 2011's Thor, and then made his jump into the comics. The mild-mannered spy made his Marvel Comics debut in November 2011's Battle Scars #1. Over the past few years, the secret agent has worked overtime by simultaneously appearing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series and comics. And because Phil's such a nice guy, he's even brought a few of his as-seen-on-TV friends to the comics. Mercy Grave. Like the 90s Batman cartoon, Superman the animated series also added characters to DC's mythology. Case in point, Lex Luthor's bodyguard Mercy Graves. She debuted in the 1996 Superman episode, A Little Piece of Home, and followed that up by a dozen more appearances in the series. Mercy was adapted into the comics during 1999's No Man's Land story, coincidentally the same arc that also added Harley Quinn to the DC comic roster. The two X-cartoons even fought each other in Action Comics number 765. Later, Mercy Graves served as one of President Luthor's bodyguards and stuck with him well past his time in office. Mercy Graves stands by her man whether he's a cartoon or a comic villain. Morph. Fox's X-Men series did something drastic when it debuted in 1992. It killed a main character, but it wasn't an X-Men that fans recognized. The shape-shifting Morph was introduced to crack jokes and die to up the stakes. Morph was very loosely based on Changeling, a long-forgotten X-Men comics character that died in 1968. The TV writers gave Changeling a new personality, a new codename, and a new costume, and created Morph. The new X-Men was surprisingly popular. He was brought back to life in the cartoon, and comic writers added the wisecracking character to the Age of Apocalypse event. And following that, another version of Morph starred in the long-running Exiles comic. The X-Men cartoon somehow made a forgotten character popular enough to overcome two different deaths. Renee Montoya. GCPD detective Renee Montoya is a perfect example of the way comics and animation can influence each other. Producer Bruce Timm stated that the Batman animated series included a strong female police officer early in the creation process. DC Comics liked the idea so much, they went ahead and introduced Montoya in 1992's Batman number 475, which arrived in stores months before the character debuted on TV. Later that year, Montoya would become a recurring character in both the Batman comics and TV show. Montoya's popularity continued well after the end of the animated series. She starred in the acclaimed comic series Gotham Central and later picked up the superhero identity of The Question. Don't let her cartoon roots fool you though. Renee Montoya is as no-nonsense as they come. X-23. Like Renee Montoya, X-23 is a cartoon character that Marvel Comics could not wait to add to their canon. The TV series X-Men Evolution introduced the teenage female clone of Wolverine in August of 2003. Just a few months later, Laura Kinney slashed her way into the comics with the third issue of NYX. While X-23 may have only appeared in a handful of cartoon episodes, she's become one of the most established X-Men characters around. She's been a member of the X-Force and the X-Men, and survived a dangerous stint in Avengers Arena. And she's now the Wolverine, as in Logan died and left her his stuff. From guest starring in a cartoon to wearing the mask of one of Marvel's most iconic heroes, X-23 has come a long way in 10 years. Livewire. A whole new generation of fans recently met Livewire thanks to Britt Morgan's portrayal of her on Supergirl. But that wasn't the shocking villain's TV debut. The shock jock turned bad girl first debuted on Superman the Animated Series in 1997. She then bounced from cartoon to cartoon, racking up appearances on the new Batman Adventures and Justice League. It took 9 long years for her to officially become part of DC's comic universe. Gail Simone and John Byrne introduced her in Action Comics number 835. Livewire then made the rounds, fighting everyone from Blue Beetle to Batgirl and even The Flash. YouTube has even influenced her origin, as DC's New 52 reboot turned her from a shock jock to a vlogger. Jimmy Olsen. Unlike the other characters on this list, Jimmy Olsen didn't debut in a cartoon or a movie. He actually debuted on a radio show. Yep, ace photographer and Superman's best friend Jimmy Olsen was first introduced in The Adventures of Superman radio show in April of 1940. Originally a 14-year-old copy boy, Jimmy was turned into a junior reporter and added to the Man of Steel's cast in 1941's Superman number 13. Still, Jimmy Olsen's debut has been a source of confusion over the decades. Some have reconnected an unnamed teenage Daily Planet worker into being Jimmy Olsen, and those appearances go back to 1938. After all, that mystery character is sporting Olsen's trademark bow tie. But still, the name and personality of Jimmy Olsen wasn't cemented until it was broadcast over the airwaves in 1940. Firestar. When Spider-Man swung onto Saturday morning cartoons in 1981, he brought two amazing friends with him, Iceman and Firestar. The trio headed up Spider-Man and his amazing friends for 3 seasons, but unlike Spidey and Iceman, Firestar was a totally original character. The mutant with microwave radiation powers was created in the 80s cartoon, where she spent most of her time shooting fire blasts and flirting with her teammates. She wasn't added to Marvel's lineup until 1985's Uncanny X-Men number 193, and while a whole generation of fans still associates Angelica Jones with her animated beginnings, she's made a lasting impact in the comics as a new warrior, X-Man, and Avenger. The same can't be said for the Amazing Friends' other original creation though, a spunky dog named Miss Lion. Mr. Freeze. While the concept behind Batman's ice-cold foe is original to the comics, the name Mr. Freeze is not. The iconic bad guy was originally called Mr. Zero when he debuted in 1959's Batman number 121. The version of the character that fans know today as Mr. Freeze, however, debuted on TV in a 1966 episode of live-action Batman series. George Sanders, Otto Preminger, and Eli Wallach all played the character on the show, fleshing out more of his personality, gadgets, and giving him a much cooler name, Mr. Freeze. And that's not the only time TV made an impact on this chill villain. A 1992 episode of Batman the Animated Series gave Freeze a proper origin by introducing his terminally ill and cryogenically frozen wife, Nora. Both the comics and Fox's live-action Gotham series have since adapted that origin. Harley Quinn. Possibly the most famous example of this is Harley Quinn, the iconic Batman foe that's become one of DC's most popular and best-selling anti-heroes. Harley debuted in 1992 alongside her main squeeze, Mr. J, in the Batman the Animated Series episode Joker's Favor. Actress Arlene Sorkin gave the character her signature Brooklyn accent, and that voice, paired with her madcap personality and instantly iconic jester suit, created a character unlike seen in any DC comic. DC fixed that in 1999 when they added the character to their comic continuity, Batman Harley Quinn number 1. Since then, the character has held down numerous ongoing series and amassed a devoted fan base. Not too bad for a girl from Brooklyn. So there you have it, 10 characters that wouldn't be the same or wouldn't even exist without TV, movies, and even radio. Great characters can pop out of anywhere. What did you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun videos like this one.